how to break trauma bonds, and why walking away literally feels like you're dying, but you are not, I promise you. In the last video, we talked about why your relationships keep failing and how trauma bonding keeps pulling you back into the same dynamic, but with different people. Today, we're talking about the hardest part, how to actually break free from a trauma bond. And I want to be very clear up front. Breaking a trauma bond feels worse before it starts to feel better. So just drill that into your head. That does not mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're finally doing it right. This is why logic does not break the trauma bond. Most people try to break the trauma bond intellectually. No, that does not work. They usually tell themselves something like this. They weren't good for me. I know I deserve better. I know this was toxic. And yet, they still miss them. They still stalk their social media. They still fantasize about getting back together. That's because trauma bonds live in your nervous system, not the rational mind. This is not just an emotional addiction. It is a physiological one. Your body has learned that love equals threats and stress. But why do I miss them? Let me tell you. Someone leaves a relationship that was inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, and painful. A few weeks later, guess what? They say, I don't understand why I miss them so much. They treated me terribly. Here's why. Their nervous system was addicted to this cycle. Uncertainty, anticipation, brief closeness, and then withdrawal. And then you repeat. That cycle releases dopamine and cortisol together. Not good. Your body does not miss the person. It misses the chemical toxic loop that you've created. That is why when you go no contact, it feels literally unbearable at first, but you must go through that to get to the other side. Step 1, you need to learn how to normalize the withdrawal, okay? Breaking a trauma bond feels like this: anxiety, emptiness, loss of identity, the urge to go back, and fear that you will never feel that toxicity ever again. This is withdrawal. Just like detoxing from any addiction, your nervous system is trying to recalibrate. If you interpret this discomfort as, I made a mistake, you will relapse. If you interpret it as, my body is healing, you move forward. Step 2, you need to shift from story to pattern. Trauma bonds survive on stories. He was misunderstood. She was damaged. If I had done more. Healing begins when you stop focusing on the person and start tracking the actual pattern. You need to ask these questions to yourself. Was I more anxious than calm? Was I chasing clarity? Was the love inconsistent? Did I feel emotionally unsafe? Answer these privately to yourself. Patterns do not lie. Stories do. Feelings do. You need to learn how to tolerate peace. This is a real life example. Someone leaves a trauma bond and starts dating a healthy, stable person. They say, this feels boring. I don't feel the sparks. That's not lack of chemistry. That is nervous system unfamiliarity. Your body is learning a new language, so peace feels empty before it feels safe. How crazy is that? Step 3, you need to rewire attraction. The final step is this. You do not chase intensity anymore. You choose safety even when it feels uncomfortable. You need to allow calm to exist without self-sabotage. You're confusing anxiety with desire. And slowly your attraction changes, not because you forced it, but because your body has finally learned a new baseline. Breaking a trauma bond does not mean that you failed at love. It means that you outgrew that survival mechanism that you created. You do not stop missing the person overnight. Understand that. You stop missing them when your nervous system no longer needs to fuel that wound.